So, as a therapist, your therapy practice business model typically involves what we call trading time for money, which means for you to receive money, you need to physically be in a therapy session providing therapy. And so that model is normal, makes total sense, especially when just in those early days of building your therapy practice. But obviously, it has its limitations, and that is partly simply because there are only so many hours in a day and a week. So there's a cap on how much money you can earn based on hours per week. But also, as you know, there's also a limit in terms of making sure that you're also looking after your emotional well-being. And so the idea of creating an online course or an online offer that you sell online and that basically just makes you money while you sleep is obviously really appealing. And I hear a lot of therapists thinking about potentially adding something like that into the mix. And what's also important for any business owner is to think about having multiple revenue streams, because it just takes off the risk and the pressure of always relying on revenue coming from one source or one type of business activity. And so passive income is thrown around a lot these days, but I think it's a little bit misleading because there is really nothing passive about creating a not just only an online course, but creating a really successful online course that does actually bring you in consistent revenue. And so, with these days, there's a lot of competition around. There's a lot of online courses, online offers, and they really exploded maybe 3, 4 years ago, probably, during the COVID period. So there's so much more competition now. So it's actually got even harder to get your online course or offer not only in front of the right people, but then persuade them that your online course is the right one for them, because they are seeing lots of different options and they're trying to work out what is going to be the most valuable for them, but also the less risk for them, because obviously they're paid for offers handing over their money. So they want to be really sure that they're handing over money to something that's going to be really worth their time and provide them heaps of value. And so, is it worth doing an online course? Should you bother? Can it ever be successful? Yes, absolutely. Online courses and online offers can be massively successful still, but they just need to be approached in a more realistic way. And one thing that I think is often missing is really understanding the importance of growing a large audience and spending time doing so. So there's lots of really important components of an online course. So obviously the structure and the curriculum, sorting out the tech and the platform, promoting it, and so all the marketing that sits around it. But I think that missing piece of the puzzle is really looking at the type of audience that you will need, and an audience that you can like talk to and capture and then nurture over a long period of time, where you're basically building up trust and credibility. And so when the time comes for you to launch a course, then we really want it to become a no-brainer, because they have been getting your emails or newsletters or watching you on social for a number of years, and it's like, wow, they are so amazing. They provide so much value and all their free content. Of course, I'm going to trust them to hand over my money when they do launch that online course or online offer. And so, yes, an online course and offer can be really, really successful. And so here are the 3 steps that I believe that you need to follow to give you the best chance of pulling off a really super successful online course or offer. So, step number 1, grow your email list. So, your email list as a practice or any small business owner is one of your most valuable assets, because it's an asset that you own. So, social media is really, really important, but your email list is something that you own. Social media can change their algorithms, but your email list is yours. And it means that you have a captured audience that you can then communicate to. So, by building an email list, it means that you can provide value and build trust and credibility over a long period of time. So I really recommend settling in and thinking, right, I'm going to dedicate the next 2 years to growing my email list and providing them amazing value on a regular basis. So, the gold standard in terms of sending them an email or newsletter is weekly. I know that seems a lot sometimes, but if your goal is to really create an online offer that does really well, you also need to be realistic about the work that you need to put in now to make that course successful in the future. And so think about different ways that you can encourage subscribers on your email list. So often people have subscribed to my newsletter on the website, and that's totally fine. But it's just not that appealing these days because people just think, oh, just another newsletter in my inbox, something just to delete. Versus if you provide a free resource. And so in marketing, which you probably have heard, we call these free resources lead magnets. So it's really something that's free and really valuable and really resonates and hits home with your ideal audience and addresses one of their pain points. And all we're asking is like, hey, I've got this amazing resource. Hopefully you'll find it super helpful. Just pop in your email address and we'll send that to you. And so create something like that and pop it on your website and then promote that lead magnet whenever you get the chance to do so. And so when we're creating that email list, it's really about then providing lots of value that really relates to what you do, relates to your audience, but also longer term, think about how it will also relate to that online course or offer because it needs to make sense to people. And if you're building up credibility around a certain area of mental health, say, then it needs to make sense when someone goes, oh, okay, now he's got a course. Oh, that makes sense because I've been learning all about this stuff through their free content. And now they have like an even more amazing high quality resource or course that relates to what I've been learning anyway, but it will give me more in depth, more help, more value, and I just have to now exchange some money for it. So, step number 1, grow your email list. Step number 2, grow your social media presence. So, your email list is really important because you're providing that value, keeping top of mind, and building trust and credibility. But your social media platform does a similar thing, but it takes it to another level in terms of how you can connect with people. And so these days, people do loyally follow therapists on social media. And it means that we want to create a social media presence for you where people are also loyally following you. And I know sometimes people are very hesitant about starting video content, but even by starting with image-based content and then moving to videos, once you get more comfortable, it's just thinking about what is the best way that I can connect with people. And that is really through video online on social media, because not only can you get to provide lots of value as well, similar to your email lists, but sometimes it's easier to explain things like over video rather than typing them out in email. But it also means that they get to know you, they can see your personality, they can feel like you really get them and really feel like they connect with you. And all that is just doing so much good in terms of building that trust, building that likability. And so once you're ready to offer that online course in a couple of years, people are just going to jump at it because they're like, wow, I've been waiting to do something more with this person, to get more involved. And if that online course even includes some in-person components, so maybe some group coaching, people are just delighted to be able to actually get some time with you. Even in a group setting, it just means so much to them if they have been following you loyally, say for a couple of years, and watching all the videos that you've been putting out on social media. Step number 3, test your ideas. So I think sometimes the mistake that's made is that people go, oh, I want an online course. I'm going to generate lots of revenue while I sleep. I'll spend all this time creating a course, and no one buys it. And that is probably because they don't have an audience that they've built up trust and credibility with over a long period of time. But the other side is that maybe no one wants it. Maybe just no one is interested in that type of course. And so it's just so worth testing your ideas, because the last thing you want to do is spend so much time, and it takes a lot of time to pull a course together. And the last thing you want is to launch something that there just is no interest in. And so sometimes what we think our audience wants is actually not what they want at all. And so once you build up that email list, let's say you've been doing that for a year and a half, 2 years, you're like, right, now it's time to start thinking about my online offer. So one of the first steps when you're thinking about that online offer is to test some ideas. And so a great way to test ideas is to create wait lists. And so you can email your email list and say, hey, I've been thinking about creating an online course on this topic, and the course is going to be all about helping people with X. Yeah, who would like to get on my wait list? And so I can let you know for early access or provide a discount once it's ready. And so if you have lots of people sign up for that wait list, and that's a fairly good indication that there is interest for that course or that idea. If very few people or no one sign up to that wait list, then that's a good indication that maybe that idea isn't quite right, and maybe it needs some refining or testing some other idea concepts. So the other thing to keep in mind is thinking about the price point of your offer. So in marketing or sales, we talk about high ticket offers and low ticket offers. So high ticket offers are generally offers that are above $1,000, and low ticket are obviously below $1,000. And so when we're thinking about high ticket offers, it normally requires a different sales process and approach than a low ticket offer. And so even with low ticket offers, like even with a $27 offer, you still can't just put it out to the marketplace when no one knows you and expect people to purchase, because it's still a risk for people. But by building a loyal, trusting audience, you can normally sell offers through that email list up to around $1,000. Like if you've got an enormous following, you're so well known and you've been around a long time, yeah, that can be pushed above $1,000. But typically, when we think about an offer above $1,000, even if you've got a good audience that knows you fairly well, you normally have to get people on the phone. And when they step up to even higher offers, so say around $5,000 or more, you really need a two-step sales process. And so that first step is really a call or a Zoom meeting, getting to know the person, understanding their pain points. And so then the second call is the proposal, where you're basically selling and closing that offer. And so in big companies, obviously this is not possible if you're a small practice, but big companies will actually have what they call a team of setters and a team of closers. So the setters are all about qualifying the lead. So they'll get the quality leads on the phone, they'll suss them out more, and if they believe they're a really good fit for the offer, then they'll book in a second call where the closer, whose job is to provide the proposal and then close the sale. So a setter and a closer are actually a little bit different skill sets, so they often have teams doing those jobs separately. So obviously wouldn't expect you to think about having setters and closers, but it's definitely something to think about, that the process that's required to get someone across the line if it's that high ticket offer, and what if you do end up providing something at that sort of price point. Sometimes the go-to is like, oh, I'll get a salesperson and they can do that because I hate sales calls and they're uncomfortable and icky. And yes, I totally get the ickiness, but what you also find is that as a founder or the creator of the course, that has so much weight. I mean, you will understand your course and offer way more than any salesperson ever will. And you also understand your audience way more than that salesperson ever will. So yes, they will learn that over time, but they won't get it like you'll get it. And there's something really special when someone actually gets on a call with the founder and the course creator, which goes a long way to you selling it. Obviously, if you did grow a lot bigger and you've got lots of people coming into your online offers, it's not possible for you to do everything. But in the initial stages, if you are feeling like your offer is going to be at a higher ticket level, my biggest piece of advice to you, which was such a critical piece of advice to me many years ago when I was trying to get out of doing sales, is that you can teach people to sell, but you can't create a founder and someone who isn't a founder. So go learn how to sell. And you actually learn that it's not as gross as you sometimes think, because all you're really doing is going, I truly, truly believe this person will get so much value and so much help out of my offer. All I'm doing is letting them know how it will help. And then it's totally up to them. So it's not this weird gross trying to push something on someone. It's just genuinely believing that your offer can help someone and helping them see how it will help them and seeing if it's the right fit for them and helping them take that next step and finish the sale and lock it in, but only obviously if you truly believe that it's the right thing for them. So, if you have any thoughts that maybe one day you might like to create an online course or offer, my biggest piece of advice to finish this video with is start growing your audience now. Put in the work and do the work consistently over the next couple of years, and you'll be surprised, amazed just what sort of audience that you have over email and on social media. And it will just make such an enormous difference when the time comes for you to test ideas and create your online course, because you have done the work to put yourself in a position to give you the best possible chance to create an online course that is amazingly successful and bringing you in lots more revenue.